Right now, it looks like my white balance is completely off, and that's because last night we got something like 3 inches of snow in like 2.5 hours. It was intense. It was pretty amazing. And we woke up this morning to this wonderful white blanket of marshmallow fluff. I released the ducks and they just went completely quackers. Because between the snow and the pumpkin my neighbor left them, they were in their blue heaven, so to speak. Something that puts me into my blue heaven is a humble little dish known as cottage pie. It is also known as shepherd's pie, but unless you're using ground lamb, it's not really shepherd's pie. It's a very specific distinction. You use beef for a cottage pie, you use lamb for shepherd's pie. And since you can't get ground lamb up here very reasonably, cottage pie is what we're making. So let's go to the stove. There is really one thing that makes this recipe go slow, and that is the mashed potatoes that go on top. There are 2 ways to speed this up. One is to put your potatoes in a pan, cover them with water, turn them on, bring them to a boil. By the time they bring to a boil, you bring them to a boil. That was a tongue twister. They're already starting to soften up, kind of like I do with pasta. The other thing you can do, which is what I've done, is make extra mashed potatoes when you make dinner. If you're going to make mashed potatoes as a side dish, plan ahead and make the extra mashed potatoes for your shepherd's pie. Mashed potatoes actually freeze too, believe it or not. My favorite grocery store that I used to shop at all the time used to sell little discs of frozen mashed potatoes that you could reconstitute with milk and butter. It was pretty awesome. But they were real potatoes as opposed to like instant potatoes, which again is not, instant potatoes work too. I mean, there's multiple ways to speed this along. We're gonna start today by adding some olive oil. I need to put this in my little carafe. I remember. And we're going to add 1 chopped onion. And we're going to mince 2 cloves of garlic in. I feel like the best recipes start with sauteing garlic and onions together until they become soft and translucent and aromatic. It's I don't know what it is. They really elevate. The lowly alum really elevates savory cooking. I think that's why it's such a huge part of just about every ethnic foodway where onions and garlic are easily accessible. So we're gonna let this cook, and then we're gonna come back. All right, those are softening up nicely. It's been about 3 minutes. So we're gonna add ingredient number 3, 4. Two carrots sliced in a little disc. It takes a little longer to slice them nice and thin, but they cook faster when you do that. And if you're making this for lunch and you want it done, then that is the way to do it. kind of mix those together and let them simmer, saute, until the until the carrots are nice and soft. Should take about 5 minutes. And while this is cooking, I'm going to work on reconstituting my mashed potatoes. So we're just going to heat the mashed potatoes on a medium heat until they get a little warmer, and then we're going to add milk and mash them again. So you're getting some really nice caramelization, I guess, on the carrots. That's good. Another thing that speeds up my mashed potatoes is I straight up do not peel them. Let's see if I have an example. I buy these little new potatoes that have very thin skins, and I frequently just boil them and mash them with the skins on because I like the skin. Now we're going to add about a pound of hamburger. I'm going to turn this down because it's getting a little intense. Once you add the hamburger, you can start seasoning. We're going to go to our old standby sea salt. Now we're going to use some herbes Provence. And add some sage. I broke down. I had to buy sage for Thanksgiving, and we don't have a Penzies up here, and it was going to take too long to ship it, so I had to go buy grocery store sage. I bought the Simply Organic. It's not the same, you guys. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not Penzies. add a little bit of milk, about half a cup, to my mashed potatoes. So that's frying up nicely. We're going to add some flour and a little bit of chicken stock to make a gravy. So my trick, I'm going to add a heaping tablespoon onto my meat mixture. And we're going to kind of move everything around so that it becomes coated with flour. And we're going to gauge to see if we think we need any more flour. The best way I can describe the effect you're looking for is a little bit of like graying or chalkiness on your flour or your meat. It's kind of what you want. So we're going to add another tablespoon just to be on the safe side. You can put on too much flour. And then your stuff tastes like flour. And no one likes raw flour. Well, I can't say no one, but I can't think of many people who do like raw flour. I don't know why Monty just started barking like crazy. Other than the fact that it is snowing, and it's one of his favorite things in the world. He does this thing where he puts his nose into the snow and then runs through the snow, like throwing the snow up, like he's some sort of dolphin or something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get on video. That dog is crazy. We're gonna add about, half a cup of chicken stock. That's probably closer to a cup. And naturally, because we just added a cold liquid out of the fridge, it stopped simmering. So we're going to bring that back up to a simmer, and it will thicken up into a lovely gravy. It's already kind of starting to do that. So we're getting this like nice rich gravy. This is what you want in your shepherd's pie. And to our gravy, hamburger, carrot, onion, garlic mixture, we're going to add a cup of frozen peas. I'm going to stir those in. Okay. You may be saying, Miranda, there's no way those peas are cooked, and they aren't. So we're going to add that mashed potato mixture on the top. You're going to kind of throw on, this looks really crazy, you're going to throw on a few slices of white cheddar. I'm going to break them up a little bit. Usually I shred it, but my cheese grater is in the dishwasher and I don't have to fish it out and wash it. So we're going to use slices of cheese. It will have the same effect. That's what you end up with. Mashed potatoes on top of your gravy, meat, vegetable mixture with white cheddar cheese on top of it. We're gonna put this in the oven that's been preheating. And I'm gonna grab a hot pad because that is still pretty flippin' hot. And we're gonna let that bake for about until the cheese is really melted. Once the cheese is melted, the peas are pretty much done and everything else is pre-cooked. So it's really just a matter of warming it up, melting the cheese, and making sure everything is constituted together. So we'll give it about 15-20 minutes. And we'll get back to you. So the shepherd's pie has been in the oven for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna pull it out and we're gonna have some lunch. Shredding the cheese would have made for a more even melt, but it's still the same effect. I'm gonna go ahead and plate up lunch. Everett's in meetings all day, so I'm gonna go get him a plate made with maybe a nice roll, and I will have a very grateful husband. Until next time, eat right and take care of yourselves, and stay warm.